So look, bro, I know oftentimes we get caught in trying to raise our ceiling on our standards instead of raising our floor. And one thing you really need to focus on is more so raising the floor instead of raising your ceiling, because your ceiling can be all the way up here and your floor can be down here, and your potential is everything in between. But when you raise your floor, you naturally raise your ceiling too, and it just becomes the new normal. So instead of raising the ceiling, raise your floor. And your standards are your commitments. So really this is going to be a part two of raising your standards, but don't think about the ceiling. Think about raising your floor. So your floor is the bottom of your commitment. It's your minimum standards. So if you raise your ceiling and your floor remains the same, you're setting false expectations by wanting more or higher quality things while still accepting low quality shit. Does that make sense? So raising your floor is about removing aspects of yourself that no longer make sense for the person that you're trying to become. So you have a standard for how you spend your time, the kind of food you eat, who your friends are, the way, the way you get treated. The list can go on. But we naturally adopt standards and let other people be the point of reference for the standards and commitments that we have for ourselves, that's not the way. That's not good. That goes to what I said in the last video. You're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with, because naturally you adopt their standards. You adopt, how they treat themselves, where they go, the people they talk to, the way they dress, the things they put in their ear. You naturally adopt it. So like I said, it goes back to that. But that's one of the worst, it could be one of the worst or one of the best things you can do. Allowing somebody else to be your standard. That could be one of the worst things or one of the best things, depending on what people you put yourself around. And I say that because, other people are coming from different places. They have a different past, but most importantly, it's a different future. Y'all have a different future. So your standards and your commitments must be intrinsic. And when I say intrinsic, they must come from within. That's where your standards must come from. And if your standards and somebody else's standards just happen to align, or if somebody's standards where you're trying to go is, where you need to be, then that's fine. That's different. That's different. But literally, they have to be where you want. They have to be going in the same direction that you're going. So the more specific you get and what you're looking for, the more specific your answers will be. So think deeply about that. Think deeply about what you really want and just focus on higher quality than the quantity itself. So you really have two options. You can either fall back to the old standard or not set new standards at all just to get cheaper, quick wins, or instead you can stand on, hey, this is the new standard. I'm not going below this, and make it a non-negotiable to figure out how to win at this new standard, how to win at this new level. Because it's better to take a L at the new standard rather than a win at the old standard. You're not growing. That's like me fighting prime Mike Tyson versus me fighting a 14-year-old. Like, it doesn't make sense. You're not growing. That's just an analogy. But my point is, it will take time. But once you get one dub at the new standard, it will build confidence to continue to, set the bar higher. So first you have to commit. And once you finally commit, that's saying, I'm never going back. It builds courage because you can't run from it, which creates new capabilities and a new level of confidence. And confidence comes from your past success, because now if you did it once, you can do it again. So when you raise your floor, you put yourself in position to win at the new standard. And what happens is you normalize that new standard and it becomes the new normal. Now you can set another higher standard and become better.